we've set up a 10 million rand fund for entrepreneurs above 40 who can now access this fund, and after failing 3 or 4 times, this might be the time where you can set up a business that actually creates jobs and that is sustainable in the long run. So these are some of the opportunities we've provided for, in not just chemical industries, but it's for anyone and everyone for that matter.
To the Chieta podcast. My name is Sipho Masiho, Chieta at Work. I'm so excited to be your host today, and of course today I'm going to be talking to the CEO of Chieta, Mr. Yershen Pillay, and he's joining us today to talk about the future of the chemical industry. Mr. Yershen Pillay, good day, and I hope you are well today.
Good day, Sipho, and very well, thank you.
Good, thank you. Mr. Yershen Pillay, let's dive into the conversation today. We're looking at the chemical industry, we're looking at the opportunities, we're looking at the challenges and what the future holds for the chemical industry. Tell us, what is the chemical industry for those who don't know what it is?
Well, your chemical industries, they constitute a lot of our petrochemical companies. So if you've ever gone to a filling station, filled fuel in your car at a engine garage, or you're actually contributing to the chemical industries for that matter. Some of our pharmaceuticals companies, Adcock, Ingram, Aspen, etc., they constitute our chemical industries for that matter. So there's about 5 subsectors that we have, and they range from base chemicals, specialty chemicals, oil and gas, fertilizers for that matter, and these are all part of what we refer to as your chemical industries in South Africa.
How big is the chemical industry in South Africa?
Well, it constitutes at about 3% of our gross value add in terms of our contribution to the economy. So quite significant, mostly in terms of manufacturing. A large part of the chemical industries contributes to the manufacturing sector in the country.
With unemployment being as high as it is, are there opportunities for young people in the chemical industry?
I think there's an ocean of opportunities actually, and what a lot of people just need to search in the right places as well. To give you an example, we have a lot of opportunities for professionals. We have about 7,800 electricians that are demanded by chemical companies, and that's according to our own workplace skills plans and annual training reports. In terms of chemical engineers, the sector is demanding almost 1,200 of chemical engineers. So from millwrights, we've got about 428 millwrights that are required in the last financial year, mechanical engineers, analytical chemists, so a lot of artisans as well, a lot of professionals could find a significant degree of opportunities. But you've got to be, employable as well. So I think what we've seen is that if you are, in school and you're considering a BSc in microbiology, nothing wrong with that. But whether there's a demand for that in the chemical industries is a question mark. However, when we've spoken to our industry partners, many will tell you that a pharmacist today can walk into a job in most instances because there's a high demand for pharmacists. So in certain professions there are opportunities, in others not. Secondly, I think in terms of entrepreneurship, there's a lot of opportunities to open up an entrepreneurial business or venture that could be in chemical manufacturing, such as production of detergents, for example, all forms of other pharmaceutical-based chemical, fertilizer products, etc. So big demand, and I think in entrepreneurship, there are vast opportunities that could be made available to many.
For those who want to get into the chemical industry and they want to study, where are the opportunities around studying? Are there bursary schemes? Are there learnership skills, opportunities for them where they can actually just apply through Chieta? Are there opportunities for them?
We as a chemical CETA, we don't fund individuals directly. So we do fund the chemical companies, we fund NGOs, we fund SMMEs, we fund institutions of higher learning, etc. What we do though is also connect some of the learners themselves or those seeking opportunities to these companies, to these institutions of higher learning, etc. So a lot of the learnerships, in fact, are funded by us, but implemented by the companies. A lot of the apprentices, we do fund apprenticeships as well for artisans. And so, one would urge the learner out there who's looking for an opportunity to get onto social media, look on the company websites, and apply, because you might actually find they will be funded by us as the chemical seat and just implement it. But what we did recently, we established a 10 million rand Lesedi student debt fund.
Okay.
And this fund helps to a learner who's completed their final year but who has outstanding student debt to then settle that debt, obtain the certificate, and enter the job market. And we've advertised this directly. And so learners can apply to us via our website and even social media for this particular opportunity.
Let's talk about the challenges. We've seen there's some petroleum companies that have actually said that they were leaving South Africa. Does it have an impact on the chemical industry at all?
Not really, because the gap in the market will always be closed by someone, by some entity, someone who sees the opportunity and not the challenge. Yes, there are certain industries. I think our petroleum subsector is facing significant challenges. And this is largely because, whether it be oil prices, yes, the economic growth which has been very stagnant currently. And, what we've seen really is that as these challenges emerge, they are emerging in certain sectors. So we don't see the kind of growth we'd like to see in the petroleum sector. And that's because many of our companies are closing refineries in order to buy finished products, because it makes business sense for them. However, that would lead to job losses. So we've seen in Sapref, in Engine, etc., many of these refineries being closed. Other companies are pivoting away from finished products towards opportunities in the electric vehicle market, for example. And this causes challenges, but they also they lead to new opportunities. And so just recently heard that Saudi Aramco is considering procuring the downstream operations of Shell. So as it was, Shell seemed to be exiting the country, here comes another multinational seeking an opportunity to enter the country. And so, we see some challenges such as that, where, you have companies exiting, which could lead to job losses. On the other hand, sectors such as the pharmaceutical sector has been on the rise. And as they grow, they're also creating new job opportunities. So it's a mixed bag of challenges that we see. Some economic factors, others just companies becoming more innovative, adopting new strategies, and venturing into new economies for new opportunities.
Let's talk about the digital transformation as well as the impact of AI in the chemical industry. We know that AI is impacting quite a bit in various industries. Do we see any impact at all in the chemical industry when it comes to AI and digital transformation?
Look, we are, as a country, unfortunately, falling behind the global curve. So, AI is not the future, AI is the now. So AI is right
on
here.
Your phone.
It's on your phone, as we know. It's everywhere. So we think that when we are searching on Google, we're not, but it's actually AI.
It's AI,
I was doing a PowerPoint presentation the other day and getting these automated, type of presentation formats. And it's the AI actually giving me options as to what presentation template I should use. So every day, for everything in our lives right now is being impacted by AI. And for some reason, as a country, we are becoming consumers of AI. We're not looking at how to become producers of AI platforms, AI solutions. And so what we've said as the chemical SETA is that we want to be an AI-powered SETA. We want to not be a consumer of artificial intelligence, but to produce artificial intelligence-powered solutions for skills development and training.
Wow.
And that's our plan for the next 5 years, which we call Fusion 2030. And that's really what it means, is taking what we do and combining it with what digitals do.
Okay.
And infusing the manual processes with AI-powered processes. So, for example, it could mean if you're a company completing your workplace skills plan, the AI could assist you to do so and reduce the time you spend from 30 minutes to 5 minutes.
That's true.
For that matter, or you could have, we have the data on the amount of grant applications you have made to us over the last 5 years. So we could actually develop the AI that would tell you what grant you should be applying for. So predictive analytics that then informs your grant application and pre-populates it for you, so that we are able to use that using data and AI to actually determine the best outcomes. So AI is it's just going to be the norm, not the exception. It's a matter of time, and we are positioning the chemical sector as to be the leader in AI-powered skills development and training.
Does it have an impact on job losses in the chemical industry?
Some jobs may be lost, but the net effect might actually be that new jobs will be created. And as we've seen from recent reports from the World Economic Forum, where they estimate that potential job losses globally might be 85 million. However, the number of new jobs created might be almost 93 million. So you've got something of a 7 million net effect. So what it means, though, is that we have to prioritize upskilling and reskilling. To give you a practical example, a welder, as a result of robotics impacting, welding, might have to be upskilled or reskilled to be a robotic arms welding operator.
I see.
It's because the machine needs to be maintained. It needs, there needs to be some human, maintenance, intervention. Someone has to install it, maintain it, ensure that it functions properly. So you might have welders not necessarily losing their jobs, but taking on new jobs. That it's sort of not artificial intelligence, but augmented intelligence. The welder works with the machine, with the robotics, to deliver more efficient and effective services or solutions. So I doubt that we would see a net loss. I think we would see certainly a positive net effect. And just using, for example, this of welding, where you could see many new machine operators, digital transformation specialists, data analysts, data scientists, all of whom might have been analytical chemists in the past.
That's so true. Wow. So how important is it for somebody to constantly upskill themselves? Do you need to look at the economy, look at the demands of the economy, or look at the opportunities in the economy, and in order for you to pick the skills that you need to upskill on yourself to be able to fit into this economy?
Yeah, I think it's upskilling and reskilling is really now essential for success. So we often take your qualifications that you do at an institution of higher learning as something that one would boast about on their CVs. But it's actually the micro credentials. It's those short courses that you have done that give the clue to the potential employer that I'm adaptable, I'm trainable, I'm value learning, and therefore you should employ me in an environment that values learning and development and growth and innovation. So this is going to become increasingly more important to ensure that if you're an analytical chemist, you should upskill yourself, or in data science for that matter. And so being an analytical chemist in the chemical industries with data science makes you more employable. It allows you to have options. It allows you to also apply for jobs in data science, in data analytics for that matter. And I think this is going to be the new world of work, where it's sort of a multifaceted portfolio of skills, and it's more skills-based. So we should see a lot of more skills-based programs and interventions. And I think this is the future.
Absolutely. And so when it comes to Chieta, what sort of other restrictions in terms of how and you offer opportunities to young people? Do you directly look at young people who are interested in studying within the sector that you cover?
So we don't necessarily focus purely on the chemical industries because we're an innovation-powered center.
Yeah.
I mean, our vision is to be an innovation leader in education and training. So, we train artisans for the economy, for that matter, and not necessarily for the chemical industries. If we were to train an electrician or a welder, they might work in another sector, maybe construction, for that matter, in the future. So we've realized that we're not really training for the chemical industries. We're training for the country's economy as a whole. And so, the opportunities that we provide, it's not necessarily limited, as I said, to the chemical industries per se. We could be funding operations managers, for example, which could work in any sector, as an example. So we offer learnerships, we offer bursaries, apprenticeships for these type entrepreneurial opportunities. We're doing a lot more for entrepreneurship. Why? Because we don't want to train for the sake of training. We don't want to train for unemployment. If we train for someone to seek a job, there's not many jobs out there. So how are they going to be placed, for that matter, into job opportunities? We can't force companies to do so. What we can is to support SMMEs, startups, to create jobs.
True.
And I think that's where we're funding a lot more. For example, we just had a new fund, 2 new funds that we established. One was a 12 million rand fund for artisan entrepreneurship.
Wow.
And this is really funding artisans who may have qualifications, 5 to 10 years of work experience, and now decide that they would like to set up their own business and employ more artisans, create jobs. And they can then apply for that fund, or companies can apply for that fund, which will provide you with the seed capital to set up your own artisan entrepreneurship, artisan business, maybe a plumbing business, maybe an electrical business, and then supply those services, whether to individual households or companies. And this is our new artisan entrepreneurship fund. And the other one is for entrepreneurs above 40.
Okay.
So
my
this
age group, yeah.
Yes,
okay.
yes. So we don't want no, not at all, not at all. And this was actually part of one of our new innovative programs.
Yeah.
We've realized that we, in fact, at Chieta, we fund 74% of youth. 74% of youth actually access our programs.
Okay.
So most of our initiatives are accessed by youth. And that's good because we have an aging industry. So most of the employees in our industry are between the ages of 35 and 55.
Okay.
So the industry is aging. To mitigate that risk, we therefore fund a lot more youth. So what we've realized, though, is that youth ends in terms of the universal definition at the age of 35.
Yeah.
But at this point, SIPO, who has probably accessed 2 or 3 opportunities and failed, but is now more well prepared to succeed because you have learned from your experience. You are more ready to take on a large amount of finance capital, a large amount. You've acquired new skills, new experience. So you haven't really failed. You just learned more. You're more experienced.
Yeah.
And maybe the time for you to actually access funding is now. But SIPO is now 40, and the number of opportunities are limited because most of the opportunities are for youth. 74% of Chieta's youth.
Yeah.
So we've realized that we could actually get more success, more better outcomes if you have a designated fund. We've set up a 10 million rand fund for entrepreneurs above 40 who can now access this fund, and after failing 3 or 4 times, this might be the time where you can set up a business that actually creates jobs and that is sustainable in the long run. So these are some of the opportunities we've provided for, in not just chemical industries, but it's for anyone and everyone for that matter.
I like what you're saying about how important it is to train young people, especially around the skills of entrepreneurship, because so many young people are educated in other industries, but they don't know how to become entrepreneurial. So in an event where they are unemployed, they can't even sell anything, or they can't use their skills to try and make at least a little bit of an income by selling something, providing a service or something. And how important is entrepreneurship, especially looking at the high unemployment rate in the country?
Look, entrepreneurship is essential for us to succeed as a country, to create prosperity. More importantly, though, is we need to create new economies.
Okay.
So let me explain that to say, imagine a situation where we're all entrepreneurs Who's going to buy from us? You don't have enough, the size of the market, so you don't have enough customers because everyone is an entrepreneur and we're all trying to sell to each other. So it's an abnormal situation. You need to have an entire economy where you have enough demand and supply. You've got entrepreneurs, you've got professionals, you've got customers for these enterprises that you've set up. How can someone buy if they don't have the income to do so because they're unemployed, for that matter? So we think that what we should be focusing on is sustainable livelihoods and creating new economies. To give you an example, in the country as the chemical setter, we are the lead setter in terms of growing green hydrogen economy.
Oh, wow.
We don't have a green hydrogen economy in the country. We don't produce it at scale. We have not commercialized it. We don't export it at scale. Now, we could create a new economy around green hydrogen that requires hydrogen systems designers, professionals, artisans, technicians, gas fitters, gas pipe, and green hydrogen SMMEs who can produce green hydrogen, supply them, and so you have this whole value chain of a whole new economy that is now creating jobs, sustaining itself, and within it there's a significant amount of entrepreneurs. Local entrepreneurs, where we do not have to go abroad to source entrepreneurs from abroad to supply the services. So I think entrepreneurship is essential. It's not as easy as some of us think it is, because I would have been an entrepreneur if it was that easy. So I think many of us think that you just get access to finance, you set up your business, you sell your product or as a service, you get rich, and it's as simple as that. And it's not that. It doesn't work like that. So and what we're focusing on is those skills, like as you mentioned, communication skills, negotiation skills, bargaining skills, networking skills. As they say, your network is your net worth, as they say.
True.
So you can have all the skills in the world, but do you have the network? Do you have the relationships? True. Do you know how to build relationships? And if you do build them, can you sustain them?
That's so true.
And so many entrepreneurs cannot do that. They cannot build relationships and sustain good relationships.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're going to be focusing on, is to fund programs that focus on not soft but core skills. Because we often refer to these soft skills, but they're actually core skills for success. And once you have a combination of core and technical skills, together with access to finance and product mentorship as well, we think that you could have a very multi-pronged strategy with a lot of interventions combined together for successful entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. I think I like what you just said now, the issue of mentorship, which is a big problem. In fact, I was looking at the Olympics, that every successful Olympian has a coach. But we want to wander around the streets with no coach, with no mentor. How important is the mentorship programs?
It's extremely important. But it's important in a way that it's got to be meaningful mentorship, and it's got to be mentorship in a way that provides you with useful insights, that actually provides you with access to new opportunities, access to new networks, to new relationships, etc. I think at times it's becoming a bit more token on mentorship. Tick box exercises, public relations, to say, I've helped SIPO to grow and rise, so I can show that I'm a leader, for that matter. When you look at it, SIPO hasn't really progressed much. It's just to say that SIPO is a mentee of mine, and so on. So we should move away from token mentorship. We need more meaningful mentorship. Let's focus on quality mentorship. You'd rather have one mentor or one mentee and have significant outcomes, significant results, where there's measurable growth and progress, instead of having 10 and you don't actually know what has happened to anyone, or they haven't really made any inroads.
They fall through the cracks.
So I think it's be a mentorship, but we need to go deeper than what type of mentorship, and not avoid this sort of token mentorship. And by the way, something else that I practice is reverse mentorship.
Reverse mentorship, okay.
Yeah, and we, as part of it's a very innovative form of mentorship.
Okay.
So what reverse mentorship actually is where the mentee becomes the mentor, and so I would take on a younger person, and they become my mentor. I'm not mentoring them. So they might share with me very important information, useful insights, new knowledge about this is what we actually want as youth. These are the skills that we actually require. This is what our level of thinking is. This is our mindset or the attitudes that we espouse. This is the type of behavior. So I could learn a lot more from someone who's much younger than I am, who has got less experience, because they don't have the baggage that I might have. They don't have they simply see the world in a whole new way, with fresh eyes. What I refer to as alien eyes, for that matters. They don't have preconceptions, they don't have assumptions, and so because they don't have these preconceptions and assumptions,
or even fear,
they could challenge you. So you become the mentee,
especially the Generation X.
Exactly. So I love this new way of looking at things, where we think that the older you are more qualified to be a mentor. I think the younger you are, you're more qualified to be a mentor.
That's interesting. Look at it.
And that's how we're going to innovate as well, because they will come with the fresh ideas. So they may know how to innovate. I might know where and when to innovate. And together we can actually achieve a lot more innovation and growth. So reverse mentorship, I think, is much more powerful, more impactful, and more relevant in today's context.
Absolutely. And I think I agree with you 100% with all the young people that I've helped mentor. In fact, I actually learned a lot more, especially around the issues of the digital technology, because they are so easily receptive to new changes around the digital sector. So, and I learned so much just from them. So it's actually the best response I've heard around the issues of mentorship. Just lastly, as we come to the end of our conversation in this particular podcast, your message to the young people, to the our viewers, what should they be doing in order for them to access the opportunities that Chieta has to offer and to survive in this very tough economy?
I think that we need to see the opportunity in the struggle. We need to, and not just see it, but seize that opportunity. We need to see that in every struggle, in every challenge, there is an opportunity. So we are walking around with these dark glasses and having this negative outlook on life, where everything is a complaint. We see the negatives in every situation, when we can actually turn that situation into something positive. We can turn an energy crisis into energy prosperity. So I think we need to move away from an innovation perspective. We need to adopt an innovation perspective. Move away from looking at poverty or fighting poverty to creating prosperity. It's what Clayton Christensen, a doyen of innovation, once said. So you see things differently when you do that. You change your mindset. So I think we need a mindset change in the main. But we also need to focus a lot more on doing, and stop trying, but start doing things. And I think if we do a lot more, action a lot more things, we'll learn a lot more. And so I think embracing a culture of learning by doing, just keep learning, will also grow a lot more, shorten the learning curve as well, and embrace this new environment, this new context of ours. So it's a digital context where we need to fuse what we're doing with what digitals do. And through this fusion and innovation, I think if we seize these opportunities, we can actually create the prosperity for all. So I think we should change take off the dark glasses, put on a new set of lenses with those alien eyes, and see the world differently, and a world that's actually full of opportunities and not full of poverty.
Absolutely. Mr. Yershen Pillay, I could speak to you the whole day. I love how you look at things, and of course your fresh perspective on things. Thank you very much for joining us on Chieta Podcast. It's been wonderful chatting to you. And of course, we'll be talking to you at the next episode. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Thanks.
All right.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you. This is how we come to the end of our podcast. Thank you very much. Please do catch the next Chieta Podcast as we chat to Mr. Yershen Pillay about more issues that impact you as young people. Let's sign off. Cheers.